Hello Reapers, my name is Seth and we are back again for some more Trove. We're hanging on the test server again and going to be taking a look at the new beautiful biome as well as the crafting table and the new quest NPCs that are going to be in this biome as well. Now, as you end up going to the Trove'S Atlas, you are going to see that the neon section has actually had a little bit of an overhaul visually. And if you just end up having a normal Neon City Uber 3 portal, it's not going to end up looking any different. But the fact is that you can actually see the visual difference right here. And they do actually say a little bit of different stuff, I think, in the description. Honestly speaking, I've never really read it anyways. But let's just hop into the world right here, because the new biome is actually technically a sub-biome, is what the developers call it, because what this is going to end up being the same neon biome that we know and love, but kind of ramped up to 11. So you can see that a lot of these structures right here, these are going to be new frameworks that you can actually, oh my gosh, let me go to D&D already. You can actually craft most of these frameworks in your club world and stuff like that. But one thing that I would say is a big disadvantage of this biome is that a lot of the dungeons, like, yeah, I have a very hard time telling which of these buildings are, like that one right there, that's not a dungeon, that's just a random build. And it's like, which ones are actually dungeons, man? You don't really know unless you go right up to them. But this is going to be one right here. We're going to show off a couple of them. This is a 3-star dungeon. Absolutely love this one. Like, seriously, it's kind of just this whole area. We got this one boss fight over here, which is going to end up, of course, being quite difficult. Not really, because we're the Vanguard, and he's, like, completely overpowered. Plus, we're in U3. He's overpowered for U9. That's pretty much it. But anyways, we've got another nice little tower right here. Very cool visuals inside it. And then, whoopsie daisy, I should actually be off of that dragon. I'm faster when I'm walking. And then we got this big old beautiful, like, this is so nostalgic for me going into like these big towers like this, because they used to have a lot of builds like this for dungeons back in the day, and they kind of ended up just getting rid of them. But of course we have the transit portal, so we can just teleport right up to the top. Here's gonna be the 3-star boss. Bam, he's gone. We already just completed that dungeon. Very, very cool stuff. And now we get to see a nice scenic view of everything. And here's a cool thing too, Reapers, is the map has actually seen a complete overhaul with this update, and because of it, not only do we get to see like all of the different biomes and stuff a little bit better, but you can see that the neon biome and this new luminous city or whatever biome it's called is going to end up kind of being a blend between, like, it just looks the exact same on the map, and you can see actually right over there is just a normal neon biome, so they kind of end up mixing together. And oh man, you can see that the sky is absolutely beautiful. I wish that it was daytime so we could actually see what the sun looked like, because it's so cool, dude. Like, seriously, I'll put in a screenshot right now of what that actually looks like. And then every now and then you're going to end up seeing structures like this right here, and this is going to end up being something really, really... That lightning bolt, yeah, that's a rampage boss. I didn't want that to show up. I'm gonna have another video that's gonna talk about the rampage bosses more exclusively, right? But these things right here, get out of here, you bother me. This right here is going to end up being a structure that generates this new resistor workbench, right? And we'll go into that for a minute, because I want to hop up here and, oh my gosh, get out of my face, show you that there's these new NPCs which are going to end up giving you different quests. Now the cool thing, get out of here, weeping idiot! The cool thing is that these creatures right here, like this quest NPC, is going to actually be a sneak preview of a new craftable mount that you can actually craft at that crafting table. So resistors need resources, craft to charge circuit at resistor workbench. It's going to end up being a quest that you can end up gaining a bunch of adventurine from. As of right now on the test server, you can't actually cancel out these quests for some reason. You don't really get that much adventurine from them, though. They're not really great quests, honestly. You're just going to end up going into a club world anyways. But needless to say, it's very cool that we get to see these mounts or see a sneak preview of them. So that's going to end up being a griffin type of mount. Very, very beautiful stuff. Absolutely love the crown that he's got. Very consistent with the biome and the dungeon generation and stuff like that. Let's avoid that boss right now, though, because otherwise he just keeps pushing me away like an absolute jerk. He's still just pushing me away, and I couldn't really jump. So you know what I'm going to do? Yeah, set up a nice little fort right here. There we go. This ought to take care of this idiot so that he's not going to push me around anymore. and you can get out of my face. But let's take a look at the Resistor's crafting table. So I'm going to have another video that's going to talk about how you actually craft the Vanguard, because it's a bit complicated. Another video talking about the Rampages is going to talk more specifically about beacons, which also is going to talk more specifically about the materials. But we're going to mention the materials very quickly here, because there's going to be a charged circuit for a bunch of Plasmium. Plasmium is going to be a resource that is exclusive to this biome. Enemies and dungeon chests are going to have a chance of actually dropping this, as well as when you complete Rampage challenges, you're going to be able to get lesser neon caches. I don't think I actually have any of them right now, unfortunately, because I didn't kill that Rampage boss. But you're going to get lesser neon caches, which is going to drop Plasmium. And then the bosses themselves can also drop these shard boxes or something, and those can end up dropping Plasmium as well. I'm pretty confident that Plasmium can also drop out of the greater neon caches, maybe just at a much higher degree, but I'm not sure, because we can't actually buy these while they're on the test server. I'm gonna have other videos that'll talk about those caches when they're actually in the game. But all of these resources, like these materials in general, you're gonna need like a whole bunch of them. There's lots of things that'll be like, oh, you need 20 of these items, and it's like, okay, how do I actually craft them? That means I'm gonna have to spend a whole bunch of other resources just to get them in the first place. And then, out of those same boxes that I just mentioned, you're going to be able to get fragments of these new dragon eggs, right? So the lesser boxes and the boxes that the Rampage bosses drop. You can just get a full-on egg, I'm assuming, out of a greater dragon cache. Maybe it'll actually be a neon greater dragon cache, or greater cache, but it doesn't actually say anything to do with a dragon itself. So I'm assuming that it's just going to be out of the greater dragon caches for the golden egg. My point being, though, is that the fragments are going to be what free-to-play players are going to get, and you're going to use these to end up crafting up a full dragon, right? Or you can end up trading them in to craft yourself a sentient shard. There's going to be two different new dragons and fragments that you can end up using. And the reason why you would want to end up actually doing this is, say that you actually have the dragons, but you end up getting more shards. Now they actually serve a purpose in that you're going to get sentient shards, which is going to be another resource that you're going to need for a lot of different things. So I don't know if we should go into detail of every single one of these, because the crafting components are going to be very, very expensive for a lot of these allies, which actually do look very cool. So we'll kind of skim through these real quick. Maybe, you know, we're not necessarily going to be looking at the different like stats of any of them or anything like that, because it's going to take me a very long time to craft all of these allies on the live server. And when I do actually get them on the live server, then I'll make a video that actually is going to highlight all of them, what they all look like, what they end up actually doing as far as their stats are concerned and stuff like that. We'll just kind of skim through just so you can get a quick little sneak peek. You can pause the video at any point if you want to actually see like what these allies actually end up doing stats wise, and then also what it's going to actually cost to craft them. But you can see right here, 5 sentient shards, which is going to be quite difficult. Sentient shards also, you can get 1 of them a day from the Rampage alert, but then you also can end up getting sentient shards from using a beacon in a club world to summon a boss. So you can actually summon a boss yourself in your club world, and if you end up summoning that boss, whoever summons it is going to end up getting a sentient shard. So that's where crafting these things is going to end up being something you're going to do over and over and over again, right? Now the mounts themselves, as I said, we got this centaur right here. I do actually have footage of what this mount looks like, so I'll be sure to put footage of what it actually looks like right now. And then I'm pretty confident that I have footage of this cami of the torrents or whatever, just based on the crafting components and stuff like that. I'm sure it's the fish mount, so I'm going to insert some footage of what that guy actually looks like. He's pretty cool. I don't know. It's still really neat that we actually have all these extra mounts and stuff like that, but you do see that this guy actually costs dragon coins, which is very interesting, despite the fact that he's not a dragon. I don't really know why. And then this guy's going to cost a centaur talisman and stuff. And then there's the griffin that we just saw right upstairs on this base right here. And I mean, he's going to end up being quite expensive. All of these mounts are very, very expensive. Very much feels like late game stuff. Otherwise, you can always get most of these out of these caches. You can have a chance of actually getting them rarely out of greater neon caches, or you can just go for the gusto, get the 33 pack, because it's going to give you a box that's going to guarantee you a rare. which means all these mounts and stuff technically are pay to win. But they're gonna all, like the ones that you get out of the boxes, obviously are gonna be tradable, while none of these craftable ones are. Outside of the resources are gonna be craftable. The sentient shards are not, unfortunately. You are going to be able to, you know, trade off the plasminium though, and the materials and the other resources, which are obviously going to end up, you know, plasminium's gonna be the big thing because you're gonna use that to craft the, bosses. So you're gonna see Cinnabar increase in price like crazy. Robo Salvage is gonna increase in price. Thank goodness I've got so much, and then Plasminium as well, right? So then there's going to end up being this guy right here. I do actually have footage of him, so I'm gonna insert that right now. He's just gonna end up being a different little Mamunga mount, right? So he's really cool. This guy I haven't actually seen. I'm pretty sure that you can get all of these as NPCs, but I haven't actually seen this one, so I honestly have no idea what it actually looks like, but it's really cool. And then we got our centaur, or actually that's not a centaur, that's a spider right there. It looks like a night spider or something. Looks really cool. Haven't actually seen that NPC either. The wings, you're gonna be able to actually get these wings out of the Vanguard packs. I talk more specifically about that in the How to Craft the Vanguard video that I'm going to have up, if I don't already have it up before this one goes up. But these wings essentially are going to end up being extremely expensive, as you can see, which is weird because they are invisible wings. Like, it's not like, oh, what? Invisible wings? That sounds so cool. No, these are just invisible wings. It's like hiding the wings on your character. So your character's just going to be flying in the air without any wings. That's it. Which, at least the fact that they make it so expensive means that it feels like you're actually getting your money's worth if you buy it out of the store. But man alive, like the expensiveness to these wings is insane. Then there's going to be these costumes, which, again, this is going to take me 50 years to end up getting all of these because look how expensive they are. It's absolutely insane. But there's going to be these resistor costumes for every single class in the game, which is really cool, actually. I really like that we're going to be getting more costumes. Hopefully it ends up coming with a helmet and a weapon style that would end up being appropriate to the class. But unfortunately, we don't seem to have resistor costumes for every character. We do get costumes for a lot of the characters, though, which is really neat. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 classes end up getting covered in this. So a bunch of them actually aren't seeing any work done. The Vanguard actually has his own resistor costume as well, which, as near as I can tell, you cannot actually get out of the packs. So you're going to have to craft this yourself. And then this costume is going to be out of the pack. This costume is going to be out of the pack. Then we got this really cool looking Neon Ninja costume. Might end up being the coolest Neon Ninja costume in the game, but I don't know what it looks like, dude. It's really, really expensive, though. So I'm hoping they went the extra mile and added, like, video effects and stuff like that. Really, really neat. And then there's going to be this Dino Tamer costume, which I don't know if it necessarily looks cool. Maybe it's going to have different dino babies, so hopefully it's going to be something worthwhile. This is also the crafting table where you can craft the terraformers, which are a bit expensive. Honestly speaking, this resource is going to be very, very expensive day one of the update, but over time, as it ends up getting influxed into the game, it's not going to be that much of a problem. And then the tomes, this is going to be what takes the cake. I would actually recommend you go for this tome immediately because it's going to be very expensive, but as you complete 25 dungeons, you're going to get 30 pieces of plasminium, and you can just use that passively over time because it's just a normal tome, right? It's not going to end up being a legendary tome that you can only grind once a week. However, there are legendary tomes, as you can see right here, which end up giving you lots and lots of these other resources that it's not really like lots and lots, but the fact that you're going to end up getting a bunch of them for free a week by just grinding up your tome is pretty good. It's very expensive to actually buy those, though. And then there's going to be all the framework items, so you can end up plopping these down in your club world. That's why they're considerably cheap, but at the same time, they're kind of expensive. There's going to be store frameworks as well. That's going to be available in a pack that's going to be on the live server. So I'll, of course, end up doing a pack review when all of this stuff ends up going onto the live server. And then last but not least, we got the Consumables, which is going to be a 50% increase of Adventurine Potion. This is a potion that's going to last an hour long and pretty much be the exact same as Experience Potions. So unlike most games where you log out and your Experience Potion or your Adventurine Potion is going to stop the timer, Trove just keeps on going. So if you use this potion during an exceptionally laggy period where you're getting disconnects over and over, the potion's just going to end up being wasted. So just a heads up with that. But it is considerably cheap for the sentient shards. Pretty expensive considering how difficult it is to get the sentient shards, though. But either way, it's going to help out those people out there that want to get Blocktron. and then want to end up grinding that out on the adventure day, right? So you get even more adventurine, so you could potentially end up increasing your adventurine by 150%. Not too bad, right? But either way, new biome's absolutely beautiful. Can't wait for it. One thing that I don't necessarily like about it, though, is that it feels very unbalanced. Like, it's awesome that we got all this new stuff. There's the sun, by the way. Absolutely beautiful. Reminds me of Blade Runner, which I love. But here's the thing, is this new biome is going to have all of the resources that that crafting table uses exclusively, meaning that we're going to end up getting pretty tired of farming this area once we end up actually getting everything out of the crafting table. So if you don't want to kill yourself with tiredness and be absolutely exhausted, I would recommend that you just slowly grind it all up. Just passively grind up the items and the resources, or because of the fact that these greater caches are actually for credits, potentially I would say that you sell all of the resources to get yourselves credit pouches so that you can buy these suckers and either get tradable items so that you can end up gaining a lot of your flux back, or just use the mount or item that you end up getting yourselves, right? Which, that's a big thing too. It's just a heads up, just because of the fact that there's so many different resources that are required. It's such a process in order to get all of these basic items and stuff like that. Credit prices are going to end up going up like crazy, dude. Like, seriously, it's gonna not only make the game a lot of money because people are going to end up buying those credit pouches just to end up buying credits themselves so that they can use it, but it's also buying credit pouches so they can sell it to players for an absurd amount of money. And then also just people that are flipping it, free-to-play players having the option of actually getting these items and stuff. This is going to be a fantastic update. Like, the Trove Heroes update is moving Trove in the proper direction of pay to win. Finally, where we have a credit option for almost all of this stuff, meaning that free-to-play players who don't want to end up grinding all the new resources can end up going out and grinding their flux up so that you can buy credit pouches, so that you can buy those boxes and get all of those items from there instead. But it does technically mean that somebody had to spend money somewhere to get those credit pouches. Thanks so much for watching, though, folks. Very much appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe for more daily content. That's also going to build up loyalty points to my merch store. Links are in the description for that. And for the fans that want to go the extra mile, you can donate to me for absolutely free with Gawkbox. Links are in the description explaining that as well. Sayonara and stay epic, Reapers.